Yes, everybody, welcome back to Stretford Paddock. My name is Howson. A couple of weeks ago, we did a bit of a view looking at how Camavinga fits in at United and what he's like as a player. And these rumours around Raphael Varane are not going away. I actually think this is a transfer that United could, I'm not saying it's done, but I think this is a transfer that United could make happen. So I think it's time we do the same for Varane. How does he fit in at United? And where does he come from? What's he all about? And a bit of background on him as a player. So that's what we're going to do. Let's get into it. Right then, Varane was born on the 25th of April 1993. He is of Martinique heritage through his father. He began his football career at the age of 7 playing for local club AS Hellems. After a couple of years there, he was scouted and picked up by RC Lens, and he spent a couple of years at their Performance de Football in Lovin, which I guess just means like, I don't know, Centre of Excellence or something. And it was a training centre that was exclusively for players brought up in the Nord-Pas-de-Calais region, so basically northern France. And he trained there on weekdays and he played with Lens every single weekend. In the 2009-10 season, he was promoted into the Lens under-19 team, despite being 2 years younger than the rest of his teammates. And the following season, he signed a professional contract and was promoted into the Lens reserve team. He made his professional debut in 2010, aged just 17, and he made that against Montpellier on the 6th of November after an injury to Yahia, who was the centre-back at the time. He started the match and then played the full 90 minutes in the 2-0 victory, and it was only the club's third clean sheet of the season by November, telling you a bit about the impact that he managed to have. He also, around that time, turned down a call-up to the under-18 France side due to his increased participation in the Lens first team, and he missed the Tournoi de Le Mans and also a tournament in Israel. And it was pretty quickly he started getting linked with a move away. Early in 2011, he was linked with a move away, and Lens managed to tie him down to a contract extension to 2015. He then scored his first professional goal on the 8th of May in a 1-1 draw with Cannes, and he scored in the following match against Monaco in another 1-1 draw. And that game, unfortunately, relegated Lens back down to League 2, or League 2, I guess it would be called, after 2 seasons in the top flight. So after only 1 season in a team that got relegated, Real Madrid came calling in 2011 in the summer, and he signed a 6-year contract with them for a fee reported to be around about 10 million euros, which in hindsight wasn't a bad deal there for Real Madrid, was it? And he became the youngest foreign player at 18 years and 152 days to score a goal for Real Madrid after scoring in a 6-2 win against Rayo Vallecano. In August 2012, he was called up to the French national team for a friendly against Uruguay where he was an unused sub. He did a lot early on in his career, and his early career he continued along that sort of vein, but latterly in his career he's developed into this guy that can just be relied on. In the 2018 World Cup, he started and played in every single minute, and he became the 4th player to win a World Cup and a Champions League in the same year. He's not only around everywhere, he's not only broken all of these records on his way through, he's also there at every single minute. And he was a regular starter during the 1920 league season when Real Madrid actually won the La Liga title, and he was unfortunately deemed to be at fault for both of the goals in the Champions League round of 16 elimination against City, due to how he was pressing Gabriel Jesus, and he later apologised for those mistakes, seemingly owning it. As it stands at the moment, he's got 3 La Liga titles, 4 Champions Leagues, the World Cup. He was in the FIFA Pro World 11 and also in the UEFA Team of the Year. Last 365 days or so, this is what his stats look like. 10 touches per 90 in his own box. Ballsy, confident, wild, reckless. It would be if it was Phil Jones. When it's someone like Varane, not really. He gets about 55, 56 passes per 90, 77% accuracy. He makes passes under pressure, something that United have struggled with. We have people that flap under pressure. He's a little bit in that Rio Ferdinand mould of like a bit of a Rolls Royce sort of defender, not going to come off the pitch with his shorts dirty, but are going to have defended very well. Hasn't lost a single final that he's been part of in 10 tries with 10 victories and 0 defeats. Not a bad record, I think it could be said. So someone that probably is good under pressure. 75.2% of aerial duels, which is very good. No penalty kicks conceded. He likes to switch play as well, something that United could really benefit from. We haven't really got someone in the midfield that's doing that on a regular basis, but he does that 2.26 times per 90, which is way above the average. He also applies pressure to players receiving the ball in the attacking third, 0.151 per 90 as well, which is interesting for someone that goes so high. Again, this is kind of how he got caught out against Gabriel Jesus, by pressuring someone on the ball like that, but he does it because he wins it. He's been described by Eric Asuderian as a truly first-class player. He's comfortable on a tactical and technical level. Frank Leboeuf describes him as better than Hierro. He says many compare him to Hierro due to his technique, but on a physical level he is stronger and much faster. He's got serious football intelligence, and he combines that with blistering pace, which is something that I think probably the main reason United are looking at him. And this is an interesting quote from Guy Stéphane, who's the French assistant coach. He said this in 2018. He's not afraid to fail. He will always look forward, which gives him an ability to put mistakes behind him, and he never loses his composure. He is very composed. In 2014, Mourinho called Varane the best defender in the world. Serious winning mentality. He's won everything in Spain and seemingly has a desire to go elsewhere. If we manage to sign him, that would certainly be an asset for him at United. And I think he complements Maguire in a massive way. And this is how I think he fits in for us at United. Maguire likes to venture forward into midfield. He does this better at international level, potentially because of the slower pace, less amount of pressing that you get in the Premier League, but also because we lack penetration through the midfield. What happens when a defender steps into midfield in this sense? If your team's rotating through enough, this works, and it works bloody well. If he steps into midfield, that overloads the midfield. It forces someone to go and deal with him and lose the man that they were sitting there marking. And it's a massive asset. It's been a massive asset for England when he does this. And he does it quite well in a 3, but he also does it in a 2. And it looks more dangerous in a 2 because if the defender loses the ball venturing into midfield, the reason he creates an overload there is because obviously he's vacated where he was in the back line. And if he turns over possession there, you're in all sorts of trouble when you do that. But that's something that Maguire likes to do. He hasn't done a lot of that for Manchester United in the past year because I don't think he trusts anyone that he's played alongside to be able to sweep up. Varane absolutely solves this problem. His pace alone. For an example, if you looked at what Kyle Walker did, Kyle Walker's positioning is not amazing. Kyle Walker's pace is amazing. And he will get anywhere from anywhere to cover anything. And that's such a monumental asset. Well, Varane's like that in a bigger person and more central. The ability to have someone that you just know will get there is huge. Now, he manages to win 56% of his ground duels, which doesn't sound huge, but it's 9% higher than Lindelof, who wins 47%. It does mean that you can allow Maguire to be trusted to just venture up that little bit more because you've got a better defender behind you. Maguire's success percentage is 70.59 when it comes to overall defensive duels. Varane's is 75. They would be a solid partnership. He's also used to playing with the ball at his feet. Real Madrid play that way. France play that way. Madrid probably a touch more. Madrid have got the shortest goal kick distance in La Liga. And United are second in the Premier League in the same category. Both of those teams like to build out from the back. The problem is United are shit at it. Real Madrid are quite good at it. Both Varane and Maguire would be at ease in possession, meaning that who to press, who to leave becomes a much more difficult decision. And Varane's surprisingly good in the air for what people think of as a bit of a luxury kind of centre-half. He has a success rate of 69.81. You go, that's not great. Harry Maguire, though, old slabhead, what's his? Well, it's only 71.04. So it's just over 1% better. 1 and a bit percent better. It's not bad. Now, I know that comes from largely La Liga stats. A little bit of a different style of play over there, not necessarily dealing with as much of an aerial threat, but you can only piss with the cock you got. And you can only look at the stats relative to what you're getting from different leagues. Do I think he translates to English football? Absolutely. Raphael Varane coming in alongside Harry Maguire is a formidable centre-half partnership. In fact, I'd go further and say it might be the best in the Premier League. And if it's the best in the Premier League, it's certainly one of the best in Europe. Can you think of a pairing better?